Welcome back to the Neo Matt Podcast, where football talks get real, and every match preview, hattrick, and reaction. You know, Sir Banter Passion mixing it with analysis from the local pitches to the global stages. And if you crave controversy, well, this is the kitchen where we cook and serve it best. So make it your home for football talk that never pulls its punches. I'm talking about controversy. There's football and there's soccer. All right. I'm wearing my Philadelphia Eagles jersey, of course, right? But I prefer to say the NFL. All right. So if I'm not saying the NFL, I'm saying football, then I'm talking about soccer, and that is, for the purpose of the global time, I like to call it football. But anyways, we are about to react to the Madrid derby. There are so many fans and, some of followers, they were like, are you going to react to the Madrid derby? Well, as a Madrid fan, it hurts. But it is what it is. Here is my reaction, of course. And by the ways, I was live, I did not back away. It was a 30-minute session, and I took the hit. But here is the full version of my reaction. To begin with, congratulations to Atletico Madrid. They played a wonderful game. They dominated every aspect of the game. They proved to, they brought all the intangibles, that goes with, just having the talent and things like that. They showed that they were mentally, stable. They were mentally tough. They were more physically prepared for the game. And, they proved that. I expected a 4-4-2, of course, or a 5-3-2. And, during the games, we saw, at some stretch in the game, it was a 5-3-2, and at some point, obviously, it was 4-4-2. My prediction only shot for because, Diego Simeone went with Alexander Soloff instead of Antoine Griezmann, and, it proved to be the best decision because he counted on area dominance, and it showed, right? After the first couple of crosses, and Real Madrid could not defend anything that went in the air. So obviously that was a good approach by Diego Simeone. Over at Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso, I predicted this starting, 11 exactly. There was no difference at all. Real Madrid played terribly, obviously. This was embarrassing, okay? The only positive that I saw was when we got the equalizer and when we took the lead. Outside of that, nothing else was positive at all. Absolutely at all. It was all Atletico Madrid. They were all over us, okay? And again, like I said, they came ready. And in derbies like this, or even big matches like this, okay, it goes beyond your talent. It goes beyond your skills, all right? You have to bring other things. And with this current set of players that I'm seeing at Real Madrid, it seems like they lack those things, all right? It seems like they play like they're playing for what? I don't even know, all right? But when you look at a badge, you see that Real Madrid badge, that should remind you that you're playing for the best club in the world, without a doubt, all right? But these performances, even against these smaller teams, yes, we have been winning. And I have been saying I want to see this team against bigger teams so I can really assess this team. Okay? We saw Xabi Alonso against other teams, but once, like during the Club World Cup, once we met PSG, it was a different game. They embarrassed us. We were humiliated. It seemed like we were not even there. Okay? Now in La Liga, we started really well. All right, all these first games having a perfect start to the La Liga season, 100% record in those first 6 games, and then or 5 games, and then we met Atletico Madrid, and it was like we haven't done anything that suggests progress. All right, now that is a problem. That is a very, very big problem. Okay. There are only few players that I could count out of this. Kylian Mbappe, perhaps Arda Güler, yes, of course. But outside of that, nobody else. Alvaro, Carreras, and Huijsen, yes, you guys have been playing really well, but to be very sincere, I don't know if you guys were Navi or not, but I was surprised to see you guys performed the way you did in El Derby. Okay, but again, I can't go on and on with Real Madrid without bringing in Atletico Madrid. Because if it had been any other team, perhaps, all right, we would not have been exposed like this. So credit to Atletico Madrid. I do believe they made this possible. All right, they really unsettled guys like Huijsen, Carreras, and things like that. Alexander Solov, man, this guy looks like a mountain. All right, looks like a mountain. Everything in the air is gonna be his. So Diego Simeone took the right approach. Okay, he went with, all right, I'm going to test them in the air. All right, and he proved that he had the aerial dominance because he was also counting on Julian Álvarez, who was going to take care of things on the ground. And prior to this game, and I warned Real Madrid in my match preview, Julian Álvarez is coming off from a hat-trick, a comeback win. I said that guy must be feeling really, really confident. All right, and you can tell also because I mentioned against Mallorca, the game before Rayo Vallecano, when he was substituted, he missed a penalty and he was on the bench mumbling the words, "Why always me?" That tells you he wants to play. He wants to prove the fact that he is that type of player. Now that is the type of mentality that I'm talking about. You have to show those type of aggression as a player. And after the Mallorca game, he went to he went in the game against Rayo and got a hat trick. All right, so now he was feeling good. He was feeling himself. So in El Derby, he got a brace. All right. Now Kylian Mbappe, of course, he's on form. He got a goal out of nothing, of course. Right. That was really good. Ade Goulet, of course, Mbappe and Ada, they have been balling. Outside of them, everybody else needs to step up. Everybody else needs to step up and do that big time. So, Atletico Madrid, they were all over Real Madrid. Was a worthy win from a tactical standpoint, from all the intangibles that comes to winning games like that. And I said, games like this, forget the form. All right, Real Madrid, they went into this game, they had a better form. They had scored 5 more goals than Atletico Madrid. They had conceded 4 less goals than Atletico Madrid. And I said, in games like this, throw that out of the window. Forget about who you are, but be willing to bust your gut. Be willing to run. You have to cover grounds. All right, there is no big boy superstar mentality. That is not going to get the job done. I'm sorry, but it's not going to get the job done, and it showed. I hope these players going forward, they will go up, right? Especially mentally, they will go up. You are playing for Real Madrid. Come on. All right, you are not playing for any other team but Real Madrid, the best team in the world without a doubt. So we want to see more aggression, more determination, more grit. You got to grind and things like that. Well, talking about Xabi Alonso, I know during the presentation to the Real Madrid fans, he said he was going to set the fan base on fire. I do believe that is not the type of fire he was talking about, right? Because we are on fire. I am on fire, all right? Because I felt embarrassed, humiliated, okay? I could not speak. I could not argue. So, I mean, if you're talking about setting this base on fire, we're talking about we got to be winning games. We got to win, and win. All right? And we don't get tired of winning as Real Madrid fans. Maybe other clubs, right? Maybe Arsenal, the Manchester and clubs like that, even the Barcelonas and, But this is Real Madrid. We don't get tired of winning. We have to win. So talking about Xabi Alonso. We were down 2 goals. And we had about 20-something minutes to play, plus perhaps 5 or more minutes of added time. But at that point, it seemed like some of the players, they had given up already. Now I expected changes. The changes were good in terms of shape, right? In terms of trying to take chances because, you wanted to, put more attackers in the game. But I had expected Gonzalo Garcia to have come on at least for the last 15 minutes. Clearly, all right? And Vinicius Jr. I know there's this tension going on. But I'm going to say, if Vinicius Jr. is not really stepping up to show that he has to stay on the pitch, then I don't know. You got to take him off. You have to. That was an opportunity to push Kylian Mbappe to the left. Bring in Gonzalo Garcia early on. I know you brought in Rodrigo. Perhaps Rodrigo could have been used as a number 10 behind Gonzalo Garcia. Then Kylian Mbappe on the left over there. And bring in Brahim Diaz. Alright? But again, it is what it is. You can go to the drawing board and try to figure things out. I want to touch on the midfield. This Real Madrid midfield, honestly, we lack creativity. You take Adegule out of it, alright, offensively, he is creating chances. The next player that is creating chances is Kylian Mbappe. He's supposed to be scoring goals. So if he is right next to Adegule, what are the other midfielders doing? Granted, Jude Bellingham has been out. He just came back, alright, and I know Jude Bellingham can do that. Now the question is, where on the pitch do we expect Jude Bellingham to do this? If you ask me, I would say deeper. Which means one of Tchouaméni or Valverde, we have to decide. Yes, it seems tough, but we have to decide because both players, they are not press resistant at all. They cannot comfortably dribble out of tight spaces. We saw what Luka Modric and Toni Kroos can do. Alright? So, if we have Jude Bellingham back, maybe we must be thinking about him playing a little bit deeper and either play a little bit up the pitch. It's a concentration. And also, guys like Ceballos, I think we're overlooking him a little bit more. But when we look at Ceballos, okay, he has the work rate. He has mobility. And aside from that also, he has control. He can move the ball. He is a little bit quicker, all right? He is a little bit press resistant more than these other guys like Tchouaméni and Valverde. If we're being sincere, now we're happy Camavinga is back and he is also that kind of guy. Like he can just take the ball and dribble through the midfield, all right? We miss that. We need that. We don't have that right now. And of course, he can make those passes as well. So this midfield has not been really impressive. Now, when we played against teams that are playing low block, I mean, everybody looks fine. Everybody looks fine because we're having more of the ball. But when we play against teams, right, that have really good midfield, that they can control, they can dictate the tempo of the game. As a matter of fact, if we're not playing against teams that play low blocks, we don't dictate the game. We don't dictate the tempo of the game at all. We don't have those type of midfielders. That is concerning. All right? But so I think Xabi has to look at Jude Bellingham and perhaps move it a little bit back, in the midfield. Guys like Ceballos or Camavinga, I don't know. They should be given their chances. They should be given their opportunities in that midfield. So that is one thing we need to get better at, because when you watch that Atletico Madrid game, right, it was pretty much Barrios and Koke in that midfield. Yeah, Nico Gonzalez and Giuliano Simeone, they were wingers. They were just tracking back, right? But that midfield, Adegule looked good, and I was surprised Xabi took him off anyways. But our midfield, it looked like they cannot compete against better midfielders, against top teams. All right, so if we want to get better, we need to fix that. But so far, so good. It seems like Atletico de Madrid, they won the battle. They are currently the kings of Madrid. We have to give it to them for now. Hopefully, we come back and show that we have always ruled the capital. We are going back to the Champions League now. This should be, supposedly an easy game on paper. We're going to Kazakhstan against Carreras Almaty. This is their first season in the Champions League, and they looked really bad. So we should go there and really get a comfortable win. We shouldn't really struggle at all. I'm not really excited, looking forward towards that game because, they are not the type of teams I want to assess this current Real Madrid team against. I'm sorry, but that is just the reality. So we'll see how that plays out, and I'm looking forward to seeing this team against better opponents. Okay, we have played PSG, we have played Atletico Madrid, and we didn't look good at all. So it seems like there is a lot more work to be done. Until then, stay blessed and peace out.